Hey, everybody, this is Christina. Welcome back to Paramystic Christina. Thank you for being here. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell, share with your friends, whatever you got to do. Thanks, because we have a lot of great information coming through this channel, and I don't want anyone to miss it. Having said that, I would like to introduce my friend Debbie
Oh,
Romero.
hey, girl.
How are you?
I am well, thank you. It's so good to be here with you on your show. Get to do
Oh,
some girl talk. Like, this is what's up.
I know, right? Like we don't, this isn't even really work. This is just like having a conversation with a recorder on, right? So,
Totally.
so it's fun. And oh, excuse me, nose itches. I swear
Spirit
that
of truth. Spirit of truth.
is that what that
It
is?
is when we're spot on and we rub our nose, it's
Yeah.
the spirit of truth. A little psychic trip there, y'all.
Oh,
Spirit's
there you
here.
go. I just
Yeah.
thought somebody was here tickling my nose every time I
hmm
record.
It's you got the presence of spirit and it's the validation of truth. You're on point.
Yeah, awesome.
Mhm.
Well, that's good to know. So,
Yeah.
um, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, I know this is probably the most formal part of the discussion today, but let people know who you are.
Okay, well, first and foremost, thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor and a privilege.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
always nice to be a guest, especially
Yes.
since we are hosts, like, woo,
Yes.
you're invited somewhere. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, thank you,
You're
Christina.
welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. And so I am a host of a platform on Transcend with Debbie. I like to come and hold space for community. Um, and I think the journey starts within, within self. And so for me, I have the honor to hold space for community and for spirit and guests like yourself to come on the show and showcase your journey as individuals and also how you're holding space for spirit and others. And it's been a really cool journey. I've got to learn from a lot of different people and the different ways of working and different techniques and ways that even open up our awareness, right? And that's what it's
Right.
about, bringing inspiration, awareness, and new data, new ways of evolving as individuals. And so I personally take the little gifts of energies that are shared with people like yourself that have come to hold space for community and spirit. And so it's been a great journey. And so that's my passion, just to
Yeah.
show up and let's do it.
Right. And I've been on your
Yeah.
show, so that was fun.
Yeah,
Debbie has live readings on her show. So we did live psychic readings,
we
and
did.
boy, that is fast moving. I I just
Right.
admire so much the way that you do readings,
Oh,
like
girl.
so fast.
It's
It's-
it's really the muscle develops the
yeah.
rhythm, right? So if
Hmm.
we look at spirit and we look at energy, it's all energy, it's wavelengths and frequency, right? And so
Right.
if we're letting the waves of the energies to build up within ourselves, we're getting the hit of the energies in the way the person, individual waiting for the message is coming in for them. It
Absolutely.
is it is training the muscle to work in that fast pace
Hmm.
environment. And I have been fortunate to be guests on other shows to, hold space. This was on SPTV. I was there for a year. I run Derek Acorah's page as a host. And so I have that page. I'm on Things Network. And so
Right.
when we rally up with, a large amount of people, the vibration and the energy rises. And so what I get to witness is everyone's energy coming forward to bring forward that message for the
Yes.
individual. And so that's the beauty of the unfoldment. You may think it's me, but it's what you also bring?
Right, right.
hmm
Absolutely. It's just like Reiki or any other healing modality. The recipient draws the energy.
Right. And
Yeah.
so it's all about building up the power.
Mhm.
And when everyone comes in together with that vibe, the power is built for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what do you do besides on camera? I know you pretty much live on camera like I do, but what do you do
I
off
love to be
camera?
at the beach, girl. I like to put my feet in the sand. I like to sit down and go to the gym. Sometimes I work out. I
Awesome.
am a mother. I am a wife. I'm also a grandma of twins, and so I have two
Okay.
boys. So if you're wanting to get into the personal part, I have a 31-year-old, 32-year-old, I want to say. My youngest is about going to be 18, just got his driver's license, scares me to death. Like
Yes.
it was like in a short period of time, I was like, good Lord, where did this all come from? He finished school early. He's going to be 18. So a lot of great things are happening for the family,
Right.
So just getting to watch an unfoldment of their journey has been really cool.
Yeah, it is
So
cool.
I
It's a
love to,
cool thing.
yeah, I love to sit at coffee and just relax. I love to work. So I'll say I'm an 80% hard worker with what we do here.
Hmm.
Another 20%, I like to sit down and have coffee and do my best to be a wife and a mom all at the same time. So I'm working on the balance of being a human.
Well, yeah, there you go, right? That really is key, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I don't know if it's us that lose track of it. Maybe it is, but maybe it's partial. But I
Yeah.
think other people sometimes lose sight of the fact that we're human,
Right. And this is a
you
big
know?
thing that has been impressed collectively for not only for self, but for others,
Hmm.
as we're reminded when we go into this journey, we're all always, not even just as a psychic or medium, even as a paranormal
Right,
investigator, even someone who is just awakening, we get the dance between needing to validate, to understand. You're going from the ego to the higher self, and you're going into the spirit world. So you're going from one dimension to the next dimension. And we forget, why did you start your journey?
right.
Was it because of grief and loss? Was it because of heartache and you were looking for solace? Like there's so many different reasons. Was it because of a paranormal experience or because you wanted to understand what was happening to your loved one on the other side? And so when we do the dance and then we take the journey within, we sometimes for me, it was about understanding what I was feeling, understanding myself. Why was I feeling so sensitive? Why was I feeling these energies? And why was I so overwhelmed with emotions that were unexplainable, right? A lot of the
Hmm.
mysteries and unexplainable of self. And when we
Right.
start doing that, and it's like taking the layers, it's like, why did you want to understand the layers? And did you forget the people around you that were holding space for you when you were going through breaking through the layers? And you do
Right.
lose yourself in this work. And
You
so
do.
it is a dance to be
Yeah.
reminded that we do need to create those memories and we do need to live and we do need to be grounded and have a sense of the incarnate living, which is us,
Right.
not
It's
just the discarnate, but it's us.
right. Right. As we're going through the journey ourselves. And it is interesting because I have no problem now putting out into the universe, whether it's through social media or whatever, that, you know what, I need some time.
Definitely.
Need to
I've
take a
done
few
it.
days off. Yeah.
Definitely. I've pulled back in so many ways. Actually, just the other day, I'm have a page that I go on that I'm regular on every other Wednesday, and we've been swamped with fires, right? So I'm in California. They have the LA fires, and so then every side of every way there was a fire towards my direction. And then finally, like 2 days ago, there was one that just got us really good with the smoke, and I just said, you know
Mm.
what? Energetically, I said, I'm done. I can't do this with this fire. My emotions are going here and there. But my husband was so adorable. He was like, why are you going to cancel a dem? You love what you do. Get your head out of the energies. Go work. He's like, go work. And it totally saved me. But I did take a break from a podcast show that I'm on. I called my girl Veronica. I was like, hey, Veronica, girl, I can't, I gotta take a minute.
Hmm.
And it's not because I don't know what to do or how to hold space. It was just, there was so much need around me energetically that
Yes.
I was able to feel into the cries and the heartache and the sadness and the sorrows of the people around me. And as intuitives and sensitives, this is how we work. We're feeling into the need, especially prayers. We can feel in the prayers and the desires of so many if you're attuned to those
Right.
energies. And so I was reacting. I said, give me a minute, let me regroup, and I'll be back when I'm ready.
Right.
And so,
Exactly.
yeah. And so for me, when I do my own podcast, I can just pop in and be like, girl, let's go. Because I'm
Hmm.
feeling it and I'm in it and I'm in the wave. And when I'm not in that wave, I got to honor it. So I love that you say that,
Right.
Christina.
Yeah, well, I think it's important that, first of all, how much time do we spend telling other people self-care? Self-care,
Yeah,
self-care.
yeah,
Take care of yourself. What's going on
right,
with your family? Take care of your family. Take care of yourself.
right.
And if we're not demonstrating that,
Ooh,
then it kind of falls
you
flat.
gotta
You know
walk
what
the
I'm
talk,
saying?
girl. You gotta walk the talk.
Absolutely do.
And I think this is important. And I love that you
Yeah.
say that because I remember talking to, there was, the fires happening and so much loss. And you get that, my husband said the word survivor's guilt. I felt guilty. I got to be at the in by the ocean, breathing good air. Like the
Mm-hmm.
things that we are being reminded of, the air we breathe, clean air that we breathe, the earth that we walk on that creates the food that we eat, the nutrients that we put in
Right.
our body, and how it can get affected with when there is natural disasters, and how energy plays a role with other emotions. And so there was this need, not just need, but a regimen that I created in the last month to stay grounded.
Mm-hmm.
We get up, we go to the gym, we're making sure we're watching our intake of what we're eating and how we're speaking to one another and how we're creating our own lifestyle within our structure of our own personal home, as you say.
Yes.
And when you can bring the energy back to alignment and that root, that's
Mm-hmm.
the stability that's going to hold us to the next level. We often are in the cosmos and we're in the energies of the downloads, but we need the structure just the same. And so we had the fire the next day. I said, let's go do our photo shoot. And it was taking us to continue to do the living things that are necessary regardless of the chaos that was around us. And so
Right.
energetically, it was important to show up for self. It was important to show up to continue to create the movement that we're moving towards. So
Right.
this is a perfect example of taking time out for self, but don't stop living because
Don't stop. Yeah.
we got to continue to create that shift for one. Mhm.
Exactly. We have pause buttons. We don't need to stop completely.
There you go, girl. And how we
Yeah.
pause can be a moment of breath. Take a
Right,
breath.
right. It can be, okay, I'm just going to go take a walk in the woods, or it can be, I'm going to go plant my butt in the sand or whatever it is, that brings us peace where we just need to go do that sometimes because we're not continually full vessels. We need to fill ourselves up.
Right.
And
And
I think
I
that's
love
so
that.
important for people to understand that everybody needs to do that. And it doesn't
Mhm.
matter if you're psychic, if you're a healer, if you're a doctor, if you work at a gas station. It doesn't matter. We're all humans and we all need to fill ourselves up.
I agree. And I think it's okay to have healthy boundaries when those
Mm.
time outs are necessary. And so those that don't understand the boundaries when they're created, that's something that another person will work through within their own healing journey. Because
Right.
there are times where we are so needed and pulled on energetically when I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I had to keep it very real. A couple years back, I was going through something very personal, and I had to say, I'm sorry, I'm not the person for you at this moment. Let me give you a list of other healers that I feel will benefit you at this time. And you can be frowned upon.
Mm-hmm.
We are human. We also hold space for ourselves. We cannot pour
Right.
from an empty cup. You
Yeah.
can't. You can't.
Okay, you're gonna love this. This is my cup.
Full of shit. And I got lots of love, girl. Lots of love to you.
But there's a lot of love in this too.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Eh, Yeah, amen to that. And I say, when you say that, there's a new ritual that I've embodied that I created when you're drinking not new, not just coffee, but just in
Mm-hmm.
general. And it really is inviting the energies of what you're creating, whether it's a cacao, whether it's your coffee, whether it's your tea, and embodying the medicine that comes with that ingredient and welcoming the blends with your individual energy field as you're welcoming that medicine to work within your energy. You're allowing the healing to take place from within because the water holds memory. And so when you
Yes.
speak into the water, there's a beauty of unfoldment that can happen, even if it's healing with the intent. So I
Right.
love that you say that there is a lot in just one cup because you are not wrong.
Right.
So true.
Exactly. Exactly. And does it really depend on what you put in your cup? Well, I suppose
No
if you're putting intoxicants in
intent.
your cup,
Oh, well, there you go. You can still bless a beer, girl.
you can.
You can still bless it. In the tummy, down you go. Let's go. There's a lot of blessings in that.
There you go. There's blessings in everything. And
An
that's another
intent.
important thing to remember, We tend to forget that there are blessings in everything. And,
Right.
I'm talking as a parent who has lost a child to suicide, and there was still blessings in that,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
a hard one, baby. I'm so sorry.
It is a
And
hard one. But I talk about it openly
I know.
because I have found so many other people have been through it.
I
And
agree.
so many other people need that support, and so many other people need to know that it's okay to go on with your life. Talk about survivor's guilt,
Right. I
you know?
definitely I can understand that. And one of my last
Hmm.
mentors, as a medium, I will share this with you as what I experienced. And my heart goes to you because I have about 4 to 5 family members that I have on the other side of suicide.
Hmm.
So when I was obviously when we're doing readings, we are healing ourselves. And so when we
Yes.
deliver a message, it is also a message for us. It's
Hmm.
also something that we're going to take and hold on to that impression and helps us move through our own healing journey. And I remember a woman got a message from her son, and spirit said it was his time to go.
Yeah.
But I look at that, I was like, I'm not saying that to his mom. And so I
No.
kind of sat there with spirit, like, how could I have said that? And that's when I found myself going into mentorship again. And I needed to feel into that more. And I sat with a friend and I said, hey, I need a mentorship. And he wasn't offering it at the time. And then I was like, I just need one question helped. I need someone to hold space with me on this. Like, I
Right.
need to dig into this shit a little deeper. I'm sorry. I can't sit with this, okay? Like I gotta
Yeah.
figure it out. Go unfold it, the onion.
Yes.
And
And
so
sometimes you need someone else's input for that,
there you go.
or
And
just
so
someone to hold space for you.
I agree. And so I
Yeah.
went to my friend. I was like, dude, what's up? Like, and he wasn't available. So then I said, I went straight to Spirit, find me a mentor. And I was pretty intense about it. I took I want to say it was about a 4 month mentorship, amazing lady. Her name was Jackie. She was brought to my awareness. And then when I went with her, she was able to elevate. And when I say elevate, hold space, this is a beautiful term people use.
Hmm.
Do you understand what it means to hold space? And when I went into her mentorship, when one is so elevated within the power of spirit, you can just simply fill into the energies of your own needs based on your question because she's in the spirit world. When
Yes.
someone can connect to the spirit world with the link and the power in her own power, and you have a thought, you will be able to get that answered within your own thought by just filling into the energies through her holding space.
Exactly.
And the energy
Exactly.
goes where it needs to go.
Mm.
And I asked her, Jackie, what's up with this? Like what I would have done, what would I have said? And she goes, yeah, there are those contracts and people make those choices. And she goes, but they're okay, right? And this is where we learn to speak about it so openly. But for me, it was so hurtful. And
Mhm.
I just knew how hard that is to talk about that with someone out of respect to their healing journey of where they are.
Right.
So I wanted to be mindful with that. But she said, Debbie, spirit will never give you information that someone is not ready to hear. And you have to trust what spirit gives you. How we articulate it is another
Right.
thing.
Sometimes
But
how we articulate it can be very difficult to navigate.
right. But
Yeah.
this topic is one, I went into a podcast with Miguel and Miguel talked about it, and so many people just their heart just was held by that hand of God by letting them know everybody makes it to spirit world. Everyone is okay.
Mhm.
How they pass or what they work through. And the love of the community just felt into that healing. And
Mhm.
that's the beauty of holding space for someone who lost a
Absolutely.
loved one.
Right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And well, I've been hearing holding space for a very long time,
Yeah.
but a lot of people don't really understand what that means. you
Right.
know? So
Yeah.
that was a really good description of that, to be able to
Yeah.
hold space for someone. And,
Right.
I know you and I both hold space for a lot of people,
We do.
in the work that we do. And I always find it to be such an honor to be able to hold space for someone,
Oh,
because it's not something everyone can do,
no.
because you have to be fully present, not just in the moment, but through the whole process,
Right.
and it's not something everyone can do. And to hold space and be fully present for someone, we are so distracted these days
Right.
that I mean, it takes a concentrated effort to hold that space and to be there 100% for someone while they're processing something, you
Yeah.
know?
I think too, Christina, it doesn't have to go into that depth of where
Hmm.
we're just present enough where the energy is going to go for them where it needs to go. So for
Yeah.
me, I just show up and then spirit does the work.
Oh,
So I
spirit
say,
totally does the work, but I
yeah,
still have to, not be distracted in the process.
I get it. And for me, I am actually a little different. I just let the energy go where it needs to go. Based on the reading, obviously we hold space and we're present for them. When it comes to the energy healings in the private one-on-one sessions,
Hmm.
obviously those are very different. You have full attention, right? But when
Right,
you just show up to a paracon, or you're just showing up to a conference, or you're speaking, you're still a vessel for spirit and
right.
you're just simply being. Simply being is enough. By the
Absolutely.
laughter, by the tears, the hugs, the cries, that is enough to
It
hold
is.
space. And so we don't have to complicate it with the spiritual world of a ritual or of a way of
Right,
connecting because we can do it in so many other forms as well.
right. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I agree
yeah,
with you. Yeah.
yeah,
It's just describing how to hold space to someone who doesn't know what that means.
yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to find those words.
I agree because it's used so much. And I
Hmm.
find that as teachers,
Hmm.
I say because you're a teacher,
So are
how
you?
do
Yeah.
we help someone understand that without complicating it? I feel like we use these words. Do they really understand
Right.
what that means? You're the link. You're powering them up to get the power to connect to spirit, to get their own information, to get their own messages, and to connect to the team for them. You're the Wi-Fi. You're amping them up. They
That's a
already come.
great way to put it.
But baby, they're coming with their own
Yeah,
knowledge and their own awakening,
they
right?
are.
So like my students, I didn't do nothing fancy. They already coming in hot. They already got
Hmm.
their stuff. They got their knowledge. I'm holding space so they can fill into it. The Wi-Fi goes, they can build the power. They're connecting to their teams. And then what happens if we're bringing forward a lesson, it's imprinting on them and they're learning with the imprints of how to work through that. And so there's a
Yes.
memory that's created within the mind and within the auric field. It's like, I know this is familiar. So we're just holding space by our own awakening, our own awareness, and what we're feeling spirit led to talk about. So it's
Simple
been cool.
presence. Yeah, simple
Yeah.
presence. Yes.
Yeah. So this is cool
Yeah.
that we're talking about this.
I know, right? I love that we
Totally.
can just have this comfortable format to talk about whatever comes
Yeah.
up. Are there questions that your students ask you
Yeah. So
that are pretty like common, I think.
I think the biggest one that people are trying to work through, um, and you and I have been in this industry for a very long time,
Right.
is people want to be where we are.
Hmm.
How did you get there? How did you get to connect there? And I'm very shocked, when I get those like, so let me just give me your resources, girl. I got you. Let me see where can you direct me? So it's like you do the work.
You do the work. Yeah.
I met people through training, through exercises, through learning, through healing, through community. It wasn't something that I just woke up one day and said, I know Christina. Oh my God, this is cool. I know, so and so. I was in a circumstance where I was working, I was learning. And so, spirit
Hmm.
led, your spirit will lead you to your team of people. So I just
Hmm.
want to say to those that are trying to create a business, those who are wanting to be a service, Start networking with the people within your area. Start communicating, learn, broaden your horizons, and you're just going to fall into the lap of people that are aligned with you, good people, you know?
Exactly, exactly.
Go
Start
with
where
an
you
open
are.
heart. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a great question. I feel a
Yeah,
lot of people want the celebration, but they don't understand the tears, the loss, the misunderstandings, the heartaches that come with the growth of trying to
right.
understand one's personal journey.
Right. And it's an old phrase, and a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people use it. I've used it, and that's paying your dues. You
Yeah,
know,
we paid our
you
dues.
yes, yeah, we've definitely paid our dues, and even in this accelerated
Yeah.
time frame that we're in, you still don't just show up one day and go, okay, I'm a famous psychic. It doesn't
Hello.
work that way.
It doesn't.
It
It
doesn't, because this is all word of mouth. And whether that word of mouth is through the internet, whether it's in your neighborhood, whether it's in your business community, whatever it is, this is a word of mouth business.
I love that you say that. I didn't have
Yeah.
a business card until last year. Didn't have a website until a couple months ago. And I've been in this industry for over 25 years plus. I was
Mm-hmm.
always word of mouth. If you found me, oh, spirit brought you to me
Yeah.
because I didn't have a media where I was out there. And I worked off of donations for many years up until the last year. So I have done this either of service or because spirit brought you forward. And so the
Right.
unfoldment and then the way we're moving forward is a whole different timeline. And I love that you say that because it has
Right.
always been a word of mouth. You
Yeah.
leave people with the impression of spirit, and they're just going to come if they feel guided. And I love that because that's in everything
Hmm.
alignment.
Alignment.
Hmm.
Alignment. I love that word,
Hmm.
because um and I feel like with the overall energy on the planet right now, we're still some people are still in the grind
Yeah.
mindset,
Yeah.
and you can grind all you want to. You can work 100 hours a week, but if you're not in alignment with yourself, with your
Yes.
spirit,
Yes.
and it's not even so much of being in alignment with your goals as it is being in alignment with the energy.
It'll flop.
It'll
It'll
flop
flop. It'll
every
flop.
time. Yep.
100%. I agree. It's like when you're inspired and you're having these ideas, like, girl, let's go do this. I've done it. I've been there. And then all of a sudden the day comes and something shifted. Spirit, I had an event, I was ready, and I couldn't participate because the funds were no longer there. And at the end of the day, when that happened, I was like, let me shift this here. Something is not right. It's not in alignment. And I was forcing it. I was like, okay,
Hmm.
let's go. So there, it was not an alignment for me to
Right.
participate. And this is when I was going to meet you. And Spirit was trying. They were throwing me nuggets, girl, because I was like, I was filming during that week. Okay, we're not going to film. We're going to film. And I was like, I can't go Monday. I'll go Wednesday. Now I can't go Wednesday. Now we're not filming. And then I'm like, Christina, they're like, she'll pick you up. And I'm like, Christina, will you come get me if I come in on Friday? You're like, yeah, girl, I got you,
I
girl.
got you. I
I
got you.
got you
Yeah.
coming in hot, and it flopped for me. But this is a perfect example. It was not in my alignment. It
Right.
wasn't supposed to. It was a taste of what's to come, but it was in that moment that it was not in my alignment, and I'm okay with that. I was a little salty. I was like, man, I want to go. I got 3 bags packed. Like, what's up? I was like,
Yeah.
and like I was like, I'm gonna make something happen. And the thing is that when you force it, it's not in alignment because then for me, what I learned, I physically got tired because I was trying to build up the funds to go in the last minute. And
Right.
that took an energetic toll on me. And I should have just listened and said, look, surrender. It's not happening. I'm okay with that. I had a wedding that next day. I had a funeral that next day. So spirit was like, this is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so trying to force things, you just got to surrender. And I talk about this in an article that I'm going to be part of where it's about the dance of letting go, right? And you're
Hmm.
letting go and not holding on to the idea of what we think it should look like or what we want it to be versus
Right.
what it is. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, I mean, I don't know. Did you see I don't, what do you call it? A meme, I guess, but I put it
Okay,
out. It's
Reels.
my schedule.
Okay, yeah.
For the, did you see that? Like I have all these different places to
I
go.
did that you're traveling to all these different
Yes.
places. That's so cool. So
Yeah.
cool.
And I think about what you just said when I'm like, ooh, well, that's interesting. Because, all those places, I like all those booth fees, those are paid long before I ever get there, you know?
Right. I
So,
know.
yeah, it is interesting though, but it is the alignment thing too, like life
Right.
happens and
Right.
we are no exception to life happening.
I agree. And this goes back to not just success and making things happen. This goes to letting go of what doesn't serve you, whether
Right.
it's a job, whether it's a relationship, your well-being, accepting where you are today. I've gone through so many different transformations with my own personal well-being, with my own personal self, and it's like I refuse to be this way. But then you have to also finally accept this is who I am.
Right.
There's this is my limitation today, or this is a restriction today, this is a flare up today, or this is however a thorn, a splinter, and
Yeah.
you're accepting where you are today, but it doesn't mean that you're going to stop who you are. You're
Right.
still going to continue, but you're not going to hold on to the idea of trying to correct it. You're just surrendering to all of it, right? It's a
Exactly.
process.
It is a process. Yeah. And flare up days, not my favorite days. I'm going to be honest.
I know, baby. I
Not
know.
my favorite days. I am not a fan of flare up days.
I
Um,
agree.
those days when all you can do is sit on the couch and stare,
Hmm.
you know,
But
but it's
you're
okay.
right. You're
It's
right.
healing. It's healing to take our time for ourselves and maybe just watch some silly TV or, I've kind of taken to calling those Scooby-Doo days because after flipping through everything, I typically end up on Scooby-Doo anyway. So, if I can call it a
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo day, it doesn't feel as frustrating.
Right. I think also what I'm being reminded right now by spirit,
Hmm.
this is not just, it's all energy first and foremost.
Right.
It's the body adjusting to the energies of what we're going
Hmm.
through. That's what I'm being told right now by spirit. But
Right.
the other part is they want me to talk about is projects. When, especially people who go on big cases for investigations or people who go in to sit to see what's going to come through. There's a buildup of getting the energy to get there.
Hmm.
Then you got to stake out the property, make sure you're safe, make sure that the structure's, good. There's a lot of energy invested, and then there's a high vibration that comes with it when the information hits, whether this is on the EVP recordings or the ghost box, right? Or your notes that you got, or the RAM pods going off and like, yeah, we got a great deal, like we got it, the psychic's matching this. And
Yes.
so there's a beautiful blend of high vibration. But when the project's done, nobody teaches anybody how to adjust to the down of the project. And
Yeah.
that is what Spirit's reminding me to talk about right now. And so when we're grounding it, it's actually what I did when I came out of an investigation. One, when I was in a physical mediumship experience, I had to walk away and hug a tree in instant, right? The second, I cold plunge. My husband took me hiking. We went out into nature. I let my auric field clear. And so your auric field holds the residue of the energies of all of the things we do daily. So
Hmm.
how do you purge and release the residuals of what you just touched? And so Spirit right now is wanting me to talk about that for people
Right.
because that's also self-care. That is also letting go of the project that you just invested in to bring in the ease and the grace to get you built up for the next project.
Right, right. And that leads right into something that talk about a lot at different
Mhm.
events, and that is energetic self-care.
There you go, baby.
It's
And
energetic self-care going in and it's energetic self-care coming out. And it doesn't
right,
matter if it's a reading, a paranormal
right.
investigation, a family function that might be a little high stress. It doesn't
Yes,
matter what it is. If it's your job, you have to be able to decompress. And
right,
this came to me because I have seen so many people in the healing arena, in the psychic arena, in the
right.
paranormal arena who get seriously sick.
Yeah, the slime of the residuals. So before I
Yeah.
went to a paracon, I'm going to share a trick with you.
Yeah.
Our auric field holds memory, right? So everything we're walking into, you got a lot of people who practice different ways. Their belief systems are different than yours.
Hmm.
It's not wrong or right. It's just energy, right? It's
Right.
not saying that one is better, but for me, my team was like, okay, how are you going to seal up your aura? They gave me coconut oil before jumping in. So my auric field, my actual body, my physical body, I blessed it with the sealing it with coconut oil to have that extra layer over my skin. So I
Okay.
know that I worked with a gentleman who was a paranormal. His team had him use cedar wood. And so, you use a form, whether it's essential oil, with the intent to seal and protect your auric field before going
Right.
in. So there's different ways that we can work with energies and different medicines to protect the auric field, right? So for me, I was like, oh, heck yeah, this is awesome. Like that, what it's like, think about it, it's
Yeah.
sliming off. It's just coming off of you like an oil. So it's not touching you. So these are things that we don't talk about out loud. Some of us, we hold
Hmm.
our little things that we do on the side. But I'm sharing you a little tip, y'all. Tip
Yes,
101.
that is a great tip. I had not actually heard that one.
Yeah.
I tend to use visualization.
Yeah.
Because someone asked me, do you bring objects with you?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say when you go on a paranormal investigation,
Girl.
do you have special objects that you use to protect yourself? And I'm like, no, I don't use
Yeah.
objects.
Yeah.
I use visualization. I
Yeah.
use energy. I use
Yeah.
my connection to spirit.
Right.
And I do that because the I have had, like rocks go missing, crystals go missing
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
investigations.
I
I don't want to
agree.
put all of my faith into an object that a
Right.
spirit can take away,
Well, the first and
you know?
foremost, right? Their visualizations is going to work because it's your imagination, it's your
Right.
intent. I always go to the movie of Practical Magic where the guy gets like the spirit comes out and comes after him, but because he has such strong belief, him as a sheriff, he had his star. The spirit ghost went into his chest to grab his heart, and the spirit's hand burned because he had so much belief that that sheriff's star protected him. And the
Yes.
the girl, Sandra Bullock, looked at him like, "Holy smokes, what was that?" He's like, "It's my badge." And it's his belief in the honor of that badge. So
Mm-hmm.
people do bubble themselves, people do go in with their mirrors, people cloak. There's so many
Right.
techniques energetically that people can do. A form of magic, you have an intent, a prayer.
Right.
There are those things that you can do. But this here, when you're working with the energetic body, physically, this is a physical thing. You can do your lotion with the
Yeah.
intent to bless and seal your energy.
Right. Exactly.
So,
I love that. I'm going to
yeah,
start,
yeah.
I'm going to steal that. I'm just going to tell
Girl,
you right
it
up
is
front.
to be shared. Like, let me tell you, the things that they give us when we're working with
Yeah.
others, it's so important to maintain a healthy auric field. And so, because we do receive residuals, we are
Mm-hmm.
working with denser energies and
Right.
and there are going into the traumas of different events that have occurred. I love that my team brought that forward, and I want to share that with you. So, thank you.
Thank you. That is
Yeah,
a really good tip. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, maintaining a healthy auric field is a really important thing. And, I have had a friend who has had like two triple bypasses or
Mm.
something, um, not protecting themselves from energy. And the part that you said before that really struck me that I think people don't do is the decompression afterwards.
That is why my team brought that forward. And
Yes,
so after an investigation, you have to find different ways to shake it up.
right.
We all do the dry bathing, we do the
Hmm.
selenite sticks, the onyx, we're using our crystals. Girl, I got a big old tourmaline stone from Brazil. Like,
Right there. Yes.
we definitely work with tools, but your physical body, we come into this
Hmm.
earth with nothing, we leave with this earth with nothing. It's our memories, right? It's all energy.
Right.
I too am like you. I love the earth frequency. I love the vibration of the elements of the spirits, and I wrap that around me. I'm Munaki certified, so I have my band of powers wrapped around me, which is all energy. And
Hmm.
so if you look at that as part of my energetic protection body, that is already something that I've embodied with my own self-healing that I've taken for self, right? In the shamanism. So
Right.
that is something that I have within me also. So there are many energetic layers. But here is what I tell people. If spirit can come to us from the mind to mind, what makes you think they can't get through all of those other things?
Right.
So it's still important to decompress.
Decompression is
And
so important.
so the cold plunge was a new form of meditation for me. I have to work on my breath when I go in. I have working on the muscles. You go in there, it numbs your body very quickly, and the auric field gets shocked, and everything just kind of falls off energetically. For me, very quickly. And that was a new way of me purging my auric field. And it's so cool in the letting go process because you're going into a meditative state and then you're letting your body go into the cold water, right? And it was for a form of release. You can go into some frequency music, you know. There's a lot of ways that
Right.
we can shake it up. And that was one that
Absolutely.
was instant for me, for sure.
One of the things that I do, not just for myself, but for whomever I'm there with, working with,
Mhm, mhm,
especially after paranormal investigation, before
mhm.
anyone leaves, first of all, we do a closing circle.
Yeah, that's
We do
cool.
we do an opening circle and a closing circle. Um, and during the closing circle, I physically scan everyone to make sure that, first of all, that nobody has any hitchhikers,
Mhm.
and second of all, to make sure nobody left parts of themselves behind.
Oh, I love that you say that. That's
Yeah.
not talked a lot about if you believe in fragmented self, right? The fragments of self
Hmm.
and of the energies. And so I think that's really cool that you do that.
Yeah.
I taught and what I do when I do an investigation and was given to me by one of the churches here, and it's working with the white light. So everything is
Hmm.
energy. So you purify whether it's a Reiki session, whether it is a platform mediumship, a paranormal. I give it to the actual people of the homes that I go and investigate with. I give them a folder of things to do to bring in the healing, to change the energies up, right?
Right.
So, what people forget to do is bring in healing,
Yes.
bring in the healing energy after. If you live there and you're experiencing paranormal and you want to change the energies, first and foremost, energy does not die. And we need to
Yes.
be reminded that the energy does not die, which means the imprints are still there, which means is that the residual is still there. How we react and change the form is what's important. And so I teach them how to bring in the white light around the house, to
Hmm.
allow spirit to bring in the healing, and then to bring healing to them because they live there. Their love is going to be so needed to shift the energies. And that's a dance between peace and
Hmm.
harmony and chaos. And so I
It is.
love that you say that. And so we also want to take accountability for what we're bringing energetically to the table.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I know most of the groups that I've worked with as far as doing paranormal investigations, they have some rules about that, you
Yeah.
know?
So
They
you're
have
working with
some
people
rules
with
about that.
integrity because they don't want to
Yes,
play. Don't bring no mess to me, bro. Like no one wants to
right.
work with mess. It's
Hmm.
messy.
And ironically, what I've seen a lot is don't show up intoxicated.
See, I haven't had that
Yeah.
problem.
I have not actually had that problem, but I'm just saying
Mhm.
it's in their rules.
But it's a good rule.
Yeah, so
Because,
somebody had that problem or it wouldn't be in the rules,
right.
but it
Well,
hasn't been me personally. So,
think about it though, because we
yeah,
go into trance. You're a trance medium, I'm a trance medium. The energies can be influenced on us very quickly. We can start to mimic the energies of what's present. So if you're
right.
intoxicated, bro, you got a problem. You're gonna start blending so fast you ain't gonna know what happened.
Right, exactly. And that
Because
can be
we're
very
amplifying it. Yeah.
right. And that can be really dangerous for everybody.
Hmm.
One of the reasons that I do the scan at the end to make sure that nobody left part of themselves behind is
Hmm.
because paranormal investigators are by nature curious.
Yeah.
And it's the curiosity that causes people to leave part of themselves behind because they're trying to figure out something that they experienced at the location and they're just mulling it over and mulling it over and mulling it over, but
I'm
they're not
very
bringing
good.
all of that with
Yeah.
them,
Right.
you know?
I think we all do that, not just as investigators. I think all of us, when we start to get the hit psychically, we're open and we're
Hmm.
tapping in and we're feeling, and our energy's expanding and our auric's expanding to the need of knowing, of wanting to understand. Is this validating? And that's the ego. Am I right? Is this
Right.
okay? And so it's
Hmm.
okay not to know everything. It's okay not to go into
Right.
everything and touch everything. And I love that you say that because I don't think it's just paranormal. I think it's everyone that is
Oh, I
awakening.
agree. I
And
agree.
I feel this is why the healthy circles that you create will
Hmm.
give the person's curiosity a place to play with spirit and to teach with ethic and integrity. And you have the people who are willing to hear it and not just tapping into people that don't want nothing to do with you.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. It's just really, I find it very interesting that a lot of people don't understand the full scope of what they're doing,
Yeah.
especially with investigating. But, because there are so many people on the planet who are awakening right now, and I'm really tired of saying the words awakening and shift, but they're the words that fit the best.
Right.
And there are so many people who are coming into the knowledge of spirit that haven't been before, or coming into touching spirit in a way that they haven't before,
Hmm.
that it's so important that people understand that you have to set some boundaries. you have
Right.
to you have to be able to take care of yourself, because I have seen people dive in head first and lose
Right.
themselves.
I definitely was one of
Yeah.
those, Christina. You know, how many of us want to go into a drumming circle? Heck yeah, we're drumming. We're going to go to Recce. We're going to do this. Well, do they tell you when you purge, you have to work through it? Do they tell you when the energy is being released that you're going to feel it? You
if they're
know,
good at if they're good at their job, yes.
right. And so everything you bring forward that comes to the surface is being moved. Everything in your energy field is being moved. You're going to relive it. You're going to feel it. But the
Mhm.
beauty is you already went through it. So it should
Right.
the energy should be a lot less hurtful and it's
Right.
healing because you've experienced it with new eyes versus what you felt in the shock of the moment of the experience, right?
Right.
And so we dive in, but there's no wrong. You know, there's the crystals, there's the drumming, there's the sound healing, there's the Reiki, there's shamanism, there's church, there's prayer, there's so many different chants. If we're gonna
Yes.
go into the different levels of work, you name it, I did it. I was ready to
Mhm.
go, like, sign me up, let's go.
Oh, I was
I'm
too.
that girl. I was like, let's go. I play tribute. I want to play. You know, and
Yep.
I can eat it all up like candy. However, when you choose to take those steps, be ready to heal, be
Hmm.
ready to integrate. And I think the biggest thing when we started our podcast with you today is to stay human, stay grounded, but
Yes.
incorporate the beauty of spirit in whatever form they're presenting itself with you.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
We didn't come here just to help.
Yeah.
We didn't come here just to help people heal or do that. We also came here to feel the human experience.
Right. And that's part
Yeah.
of the teachings. One of the teachings in sitting in the power is when we're sitting in the power, we're attuning to the spirit world. And when we're
Mhm.
attuning to the power of spirit, it is not supposed to be to take over. It is supposed to have exactly what you said, the experience of life. We
Right.
create, we believe that the mind continues, your experiences, your memories, your love. What experiences are you going to share if you don't create them?
Right. Exactly.
It's if you got to create from where you are today, I say live, baby. It's a hard journey. And I say hard because I understand it. And I've been there for many of us who have gone through grief, loss, illness, change, transformation, things that have been out of our control to live again and to live with
Yes.
joy in a different way, to take this leap of faith to live takes strength and courage. So wherever you are today, baby steps. Give
Baby
yourself grace
steps.
and baby
Yes.
steps. Hmm.
I could not have said it better. And I think that's a great place to end this discussion. Except I would like to have you give us your information. How can people get a hold of you, get a reading from you, maybe your show information, whatever you want to share,
Oh, beautiful. Thank
so that
you.
people can reach out to you?
So it's very simple, debbieromero.com. My
Okay.
podcast is listed on the website. All my links to all my social medias are on there as well.
Okay.
And I just love being a service. And so thank you, Christina, for having me on your show. For those who hear and follow, much love to you. I say God bless.
Yes, thank you so much. Has been this has been such a great conversation, and it
Yeah,
has been so lovely to connect with you again.
back
And
at
one
you.
of these days, it's going to be hugs.
Yes, yes,
We'll get there.
in
We'll get there.
person, in
Yes, in
person.
person.
I can't wait, girl. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's going to be amazing. So everyone, thank you again for tuning in. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Paramystic Christina, and you can find us on YouTube, and soon we'll be able to find us on podcast formats. I'm still working on the technology for that because I'm clueless. So that's okay. Subscribe, ring the notification bell, share this really valuable information. Much love. Take care.